wouldn't killing the serial killer make you the killer? Directed by Matt Bettinelli Olphin and Tyler Gillett, sorry if I pronounce those names wrong, they're the makers of Ready or Not, which was an excellent horror film. The Scream franchise is reignited with this sequel, with the same title as the original. Some of the old cast returns, as well as some new characters being introduced in the film that I believe was a decent return to the franchise. Thankfully it's a good sequel, but also a decent kind of reboot. The new characters take up most of the screen time, and Melissa Barrera as the protagonist was surprisingly good. Her character was interesting, and the chemistry between her and her sister was really strong. Speaking of her sister, she is really good in the film. Her performance was the strongest out of the whole cast, I reckon. The directors do a satisfactory job of having the feels of the original movie, but also more violent and intense sequences to stand out from its predecessors. The film is incredibly self-aware, but uses it to its advantage, poking fun at itself in other horror movies, but also using the horror cliches to move the story forward. There's a decent amount of savage kills by Ghostface, and one thing I've always liked about Ghostface is that they can actually take hits, unlike Michael Myers, who's pretty much immortal. That part of the character is still present in this new film. The opening is what you would expect, but does go on for a little too long. In fact, the first act of the movie is a bit of a drag. It took a while for me to really be invested in the protagonist, but after a while the film really began to get more fun. It does struggle with its pacing, has many sequences going on for a little too long, such as the climax where the big twist is revealed, and this is a twist I surprisingly exactly predicted. And once the killer is revealed, their performance goes a little over the top, trying to be a psycho murderer but ends up sounding like an insane cartoon character. There are little bits of dialogue throughout the film that are cliche and a little cringe.
You want me to help you and the host of a morning show commit murder, right?
Scream 5, which is what I will be calling it, manages to keep the beats of its franchise while also making way for new characters and allowing them to shine. Other than some pacing issues and rough dialogue, there's plenty of fun to be found in this new addition to the slasher franchise. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it a 7.5. Thank you for your time, and in the words of Bully Maguire,
See you, chump.